podcast for all your sports and entertainment.
And the highest fan, and that put that there on Barry Herman Calvin, man. Go Lions! Get that noise, I want my brand and my dame. Lion kneecap, that's what we at. That's my swag, that's my brain. Yeah, I'm back for all that. I got racks, I got bands. Talking gritty, walking it, cause I'm a bad, bad man. Tell them boys, get that noise, I want my brand and my dame. Lion kneecap, that's what we at. That's my swag, that's my brain. Yeah, I'm back for all that. I got racks, I got bands. Talking gritty, walking it, cause I'm a bad, bad man.
What's up, Lions fans? Hey, welcome back to another episode. Hey, we got to talk a little bit about this Eagles-Lions game that just went down Sunday night in Philadelphia. Wasn't a great game. Wasn't a great game at all. So let's just talk about some things that you seen and that I seen. Well, let me discuss some things that I seen. What did I learn? Did I learn anything about my Detroit Lions in this game? Well, let me tell you. What I learned about my Detroit Lions in this game is that the O-line is not very good at all. We always prided ourselves on having a great O-line, and this O-line is horrible. This O-line is not good. It's not an average offensive line. It's not good at all. So I see it doesn't matter who called the plays. It doesn't matter who called the plays. Listen to me. It doesn't matter who called the plays. The Lions offensive line is not good. Decker is hurt with the shoulder. Panay every game get his foot and ankle taped up twice a game. They're not playing good enough to help the interior. The interior is a mess. It gives up pressure all the time. Obvious other teams are seeing this on tape, and they are just blitzing 70% of the time, blitzing more than they ever blitz any other team because they know they can get pressure up the middle, and that'll destroy any quarterback, especially one that can't get out the way or get out of harm's way. They know exactly where Jared is going to be. So it's all attack on Jared. They put a double team on St. Brown. Now you don't have time to get to J-Mo. You got a double team on St. Brown. LaPorta was out. So this game, and they stopped the run because the offensive line, there is no holes. The offensive line is not good. So I said last game, John Morton, wait a minute, don't fire John Morton. And I said, we clicked, but we only clicked. Let's see if we only clicked because, man, they had the worst defense of stats of any team in the NFL. They were 28th in passing, 29th on yards allowed, 28th in the rush attempts, and 31st in points allowed. So they were a very bad. We were supposed to be able to move the ball and score some points on them. Probably should have put up 50-some points on the team that bad defensively. So I said, wait until we run into another good defensive team to see if the offensive is really clicking or the line is really gelling and getting better. And as we see, once we play a team with a decent pass rush, it's a bad deal because our offensive line is not good. It doesn't matter who called the plays. If we can't run the ball, there is no holes for no one to run the ball consistently. They're fighting and drugging and redirection just to get 3 and 4 yards out of it. They have to redirection and go outside the play of what it's supposed to do. Is a free man coming every time almost. Every time almost. They're not good with picking up the blitz at all. The inside, they blitzing in the middle, right up the middle. Glasgow and them, they're not good at it. And then they keep interchange the pieces plus the other two young pieces. It's just not a good thing. They do not have a good offensive line. And that's what we always prided ourselves on. So that's something I learned. We do not have a good offensive line. So we're going to struggle with anybody who has a decent pass rush. That's 100%. We're going to struggle with anybody who has a decent pass rush because we do not have. We're going to win some more games. Of course, we got to go and beat those Giants. We got to go and beat those Giants. We got to continue of not losing back to back. But we didn't need to get the number one seed in the NFC. And we didn't need no bye week because we play horrible out the bye week. But what scares me is that we're in jeopardy of not winning our division. But even if that, it doesn't matter. I think playing as an underdog is the best thing for my Detroit Lions. So it looks bad right now. Hopefully they can start gelling. Hopefully the interior Ratledge in them gets a little better as these weeks go on. Hopefully, because you can't expect to get no one from anywhere. There's no help coming from another team. There is no offensive line that we can get from another team that's going to come and help and save us. So unless these guys get better, unless we simplify the scheme a little bit more and just do basic things, we're going to struggle against teams with a decent pass rush or decent defensive line. Defense played a great game. They were put in a lot of bad positions, but the defense played a good game. They played a great game. They're not a great defense, but they're a real good defense. You can see the difference in a great defense and a good defense, a real good defense. The pass rush, we didn't pressure them. We didn't make turnovers. We didn't do, it did show just enforce our will on them. You know what I'm saying? We didn't enforce it. Then they started running the ball a little bit later. It's just like, but they played an awesome game. They kept them at 16 points. Come on, the Super Bowl champs, you kept them to 16 points at their house. That was winning football. But offense just could not pull it together. Plus, what else did I learn? Dan Campbell is rusty or he back at it, so to say. With to say that some of his calls were so questionable going for it on fourth down. On the other side, when the defense was playing so good and the score was so low, what would be the point of giving them field position in a position where you both are struggling to score? If you both struggling to score, what would be the reasoning in giving somebody field position? What would be the reasoning in not kicking a field goal when you're down there? Going for it, keep going for it, and your offense is struggling because you see your offensive line cannot hold up. You can't be that stubborn. Seeing that your offensive line is not holding up on no play, even the plays that you are successful in, it wasn't because the offensive line held up. So at this point, you got to let go of the gambles in the fourth. Kick the points. You see what I'm saying? Kick the field goal. And then when you on the other end, don't go for it and give them a short field. And now they go down and score a field goal, Then you gave them points that they wouldn't have got if they had a long field. Because obviously you stopped them and made them kick the field goal and they had to kick it. But if they was down on a 20, they would have never made it down there in position to kick it. So some of his coaching decisions was very questionable. It was like desperation. He was like desperation mode, the same way it felt like in the San Francisco championship game. Like some of the calls are just unnecessary and it puts us in a bad position. Like your defense is doing, why do things and gamble when you don't need to gamble with the fake punt right there in the 50 and then they go and score, kick a field? Why do that? I don't understand that. I love Dan Campbell, the greatest coach that the Lions have ever seen, but some of that stuff was really shady and it didn't help at all. And I'm pretty sure he's going to come out on the post. He's probably going to say some of that stuff because that wasn't good coaching. That wasn't good. That wasn't putting your team in the best possible position. That wasn't that time, even though he always usually do. So that's my take on the Lions, man. It was not a good game. Hopefully we can get back on track. One other thing I learned. Jared is beautiful. He did the greatest for the Lions, bro. He brought us back to the place where we can be. But it's going to get harder and harder to win with a quarterback who cannot extend the play at all. A quarterback, if you had 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, he's going to try to throw it twice, 9, 8-yard passes for 1 yard or 2 yards because he cannot run and scramble for those 2 yards. Or extend the play to the left or to the right and let somebody get a little bit open, extend the play a little bit when the rush comes in and, and still make the pass off on the 3rd down to extend the play and keep it going. Just think of how many times we never get that. If the pass rush gets in or gets to it, then we're not going to get a play. He can't extend the play. He may have done it 5 times, 3 or 4 times in the whole season. And I'm just saying, it's going to be harder and harder. If you don't have the best offensive line in football, as we had for the last 3 or 4 years, one of the best offensive line in football, it's going to be hard to have a quarterback that cannot extend the play at all because there are only 2. And I love Jared, but there's only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. Jared Goff and Joe Flacco are the only 2 quarterbacks that cannot extend the play. So unless you have an amazing offensive line, it's going to be really, really hard to win a lot of games. But I like our position. The underdogs, that's what we do best. When we favor, we don't do so best. When everybody are glorying over us, we don't do so hot. But when we the underdogs, when we got to scrap and fight for everything, that's when we do our best. If the offensive lineman ain't the best, if we got to figure out a scheme around that, if we got to do the quickest passes and just create end arounds and everything, whatever it takes, I believe this team is grimy enough to get it. So we need to do those things, figure out the scheme that we need to accommodate this line being average and our 2 best players on offensive line being hurt. So that's my take, man. Not a great game. Not a great game at all. Not a great game at all. Defense did good. Special teams did okay. But it wasn't a great game at all. A loss. Hey, but at least I did do a video. Last time I was, so annoyed about it, I didn't even do a video. But yeah, the Lions fall to the Philadelphia Eagles, 9-16 in Philadelphia. We'll see you again in the championship game or something. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Dang.
And the highest fan. And that put that there on Barry Herman Calvin, man. Go Lions! Get that noise, I want my brand and my dame. Biting kneecap, that's what we at. That's my swag, that's my brand. Yeah, I'm back for all that. I got racks, I got bands. Talking gritty, walking it, cause I'm a bad, bad man. Tell them boys, get that noise, I want my brand and my dame. Biting kneecap, that's what we at. That's my swag, that's my brand. Yeah, I'm back for all that. I got racks, I got bands. Talking gritty, walking it, cause I'm a bad, bad man.